people don't exercise. At least not in the way that we think of exercise. And I always say, and Ben hates when I say this, but exercise has been an unmitigated public health failure. Fewer than 18% of people in the developed world exercise enough. So it isn't working for the vast majority. In blue zones, however, people are getting plenty of physical activity into their 90s and into 100s because they live in environments that nudge them mindlessly into moving every 20 minutes or so. So every time they go to work, every time they go to a friend's house, every time they go out to eat, it occasions a walk. They don't have a button to push for the housework and kitchen work. They're doing it by hand. They have gardens out back. So they're in constant mindless movement, which is what I believe we need to start thinking about if we're going to make healthier cities. Number two, they're eating mostly a plant-based diet. 90 to 98% of what they put in their mouth is low-processed plant-based foods. The 4 pillars of every longevity diet in the world are, what I'm going to tell you now took me 8 years to figure out. So the 4 things are whole grains of every kind, greens, nuts. If you're eating a handful of nuts a day, it's probably adding 2 years to your life expectancy, and beans. Beans, about a cup of cooked beans a day are the pillar of every longevity diet in the world. And if you're eating a cup of beans a day, it's probably adding about 4 years to your life expectancy.
So you're actually telling us that this whole culture of going to the gym, weight training, HIIT workouts, high intensity, all of that world, you're actually saying that that doesn't necessarily lead to optimal health, but we're seeing it more in these regions through natural activities of the day.
That's right. So exercise, by the way, is a great idea. And for the 20% or so people who actually get it, it's great. But it's just, in our countries, we see obesity on the rise in most countries. The school kids aren't moving enough. It's just not been a successful strategy to deal with the healthcare problems. It sells a lot of books. It sells gym memberships and gadgets and TV shows and yoga classes. It's a great business, but it's not doing their job. And nobody, I feel like the emperor's new clothes by pointing out it ain't working.
Here in this country, people go exercise. They might kill it for an hour, maybe 2. And then the rest of the day, almost nothing. In the blue zones, people were moving about every 20 minutes. And there is no exercise prescription for that. It's just a different mind shift in how to think about, and I think about it less as exercise and more as answering the question, how physically active were you today?